In the Marvel Universe, geniuses can feel like a dime a dozen, with seemingly every other hero having a genius-level IQ and at least 2 PhDs. While this makes for a pretty intelligent roster of heroes, it also makes for a very dangerous and cunning stable of antagonists. Welcome to Top 10 Nerd, I'm Andrew Boyd, and today we will be counting down the top 10 smartest Marvel villains. Let's dive right in. Number 10. Ultron. When Hank Pym was experimenting with robotics, he developed Ultron, a highly intelligent and sentient robot. The robot brainwashed Pym into forgetting that he had created him and went on his merry way, brainwashing various scientists into helping him create new robot bodies for himself in his constant quest to improve himself. He also created the hero Vision, who he created in an attempt to kill the Avengers, but for some reason he imprinted Vision's neural network with the brain patterns of the hero Wonder Man, and then was surprised when Vision turned on him and joined the heroes. Ultron is clearly highly intelligent, but a lot of his plans involve brainwashing scientists into doing his bidding, so one could argue that a lot of his intelligence is just good delegation. Number 9. Kang the Conqueror. Nathaniel Richards is a man from the 30th century who may or may not be a descendant of Reed Richards' time-traveling father. Alternatively, he may also be a descendant of Doctor Doom. So either way, he's got them genius genes. He used his superior intellect to rebuild Doctor Doom's time machine and went back to ancient Egypt, where he set himself up as a pharaoh until he was dethroned by the Fantastic Four. He ended up in the 40th century, where he reinvented himself as Kang the Conqueror and came back to the 20th century with future technology that he hoped would allow him to take over the Earth and defeat his archenemies, the Avengers. He has extensive knowledge of the future and has a specialty in physics as well as being an expert engineer and technician. Number 8. Dr. Octopus. Otto Octavius graduated from MIT with a specialty in radiation, leading him to be recruited by the US Atomic Research Center. Due to the hazardous materials he would have to be handling, Otto developed 4 mechanical arms, but a workplace accident involving unstable chemicals left him insane but capable of controlling the arms with his mind. Otto became one of Spider-Man's most consistent foes, using his genius to create nefarious inventions to make the webhead's life more difficult. Perhaps his most impressive invention was the brain-swapping Octobot that allowed Dr. Octopus to trade bodies with Peter Parker, making himself the new superior Spider-Man for a time. Number 7. Mr. Sinister. Nathaniel Essex was a 19th century professor who became obsessed with the theory of evolution presented by Charles Darwin. He managed to predict the rise of mutants and began to perform brilliant but cruel experiments on people in order to try and prove his theory. This caught the attention of the mutant Apocalypse, who transformed him into Mr. Sinister, granting him mutant powers. Sinister used his extraordinary mind to continuously improve himself by taking and incorporating the DNA of other mutants. He has mastered the art of cloning, and his work over the centuries has made him an expert in mutant DNA, something that has allowed him to become more powerful over the years. His genius has also helped him to manipulate the lives of Professor X, Gambit, Havoc, Cyclops, and Jean Grey. Number 6. M.O.D.OK. There is some variation of the origins of M.O.D.OK, but the common thread is that George Tarleton was a low-level employee of advanced idea mechanics, who was chosen to be the subject of an experiment with the aim of creating a way to effectively study the cosmic cube. They altered George, hoping to improve his intelligence, but the resulting experiment also caused his head to grow to a massive size, forcing him to be seated in a hover chair called the Doomsday Chair, as he could no longer support his head's weight. He became known as M.O.D.OK, with a C, mental organism designed only for computing. His increased intelligence also led to an increase in his ego and ambition, and he soon overthrew his superiors and took over AIM, swapping out the C in his name for a K, becoming M.O.D.OK, mental organism designed only for killing. M.O.D.OK uses his advanced intelligence and his psychic powers to take on the various heroes of the Marvel Universe. This resulted in him neglecting the scientific aspects of AIM, trying to get revenge on the heroes he's fought, which led to him being ousted by AIM. So though he is intelligent, he is less capable of using his massive brain to be an effective leader than many of the other villains on this list. Number 5. Thanos. Thanos was born on the planet Titan and had the deviant gene, which gave him thick purple skin as well as superior strength and heightened powers. He fell in love with a woman who turned out to be Death, and dedicated his life to impressing her by destroying as many living things as possible. Using his big smart brain, he came up with a plan to acquire the Infinity Gems and wipe out half of all life in the universe in order to impress his love. Unlike many other evildoers who claim to be geniuses and then fail, Thanos actually pulled this off, getting all of the gems and using the Infinity Gauntlet to enact his deadly romantic gesture. Number 4. The Leader. Samuel Stearns was a man of below average intelligence who was working at a chemical plant when one of the canisters of waste he was moving broke open and doused him in toxic waste. On the plus side, rather than giving him cancer, it gave him super intelligence. On the flip side, it also caused his head to grow to a massive size and for his skin to turn green. Stearns decided to dedicate himself to taking over the world and started calling himself the Leader. Stearns has used his intelligence to create brilliant machines and nefarious plots that he has used to try and take out his archenemy, the Hulk. His intelligence has varied over the years, with the effects of the toxic waste wearing off and forcing Stearns to develop more schemes to maintain his superior intelligence. Number 3. The High Evolutionary. Herbert Wyndham was a geneticist who, inspired by Mr. Sinister's early work, developed a genetic accelerator which let him evolve creatures to their next evolutionary steps. In a move that doesn't really track, the scientific community cast him out, saying that he had no right to tamper with the natural process of evolution. He was given the secret of how to unlock genetic codes by a disguised Inhuman, and he continued his experiments, managing to evolve his pet Dalmatian, but it was mistaken for a beast and shot by locals. This caused Herbert to seek out a place where he could continue his work in private. He used his vast personal fortune to create a secret base in Wundagore Mountain. He created his human-animal hybrids, the New Men, and taught them a code of chivalry in order to aid his quest to further human evolution. He also evolved himself in order to grant himself more intelligence and renamed himself the High Evolutionary. He is so intelligent that he managed to create a device that stole the Silver Surfer's cosmic powers. In a shocking turn of events, he kidnapped Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver and revealed to them that they were not mutants, but were actually superpowered as a result of experiments he had secretly run on them when they were children. Number 2. Dr. Doom. Victor Von Doom was the child of Romani people living in Latveria. His mother was a sorceress, and after her and his father's passing, Victor began to study her books, teaching himself the dark arts. He also developed a keen scientific mind, which made him a legendary scientist and inventor at a very young age, and led to him being tracked down by the US military and offered further education in the States. It was here that he met Reed Richards, with whom he developed a lifelong rivalry. While in school, he developed his infamous Doom bots and also built a functional time machine. He was disfigured in an accident that resulted in his expulsion, and he went on to become the leader of some monks who helped him build his iconic armor. He became the main antagonist of the Fantastic Four and the dictator of the country of Latveria, causing lots of problems for the heroes of the Marvel Universe. Number 1. The Maker. Reed Richards is often called the smartest man alive in the Marvel Universe, and alongside the Fantastic Four is one of Earth's greatest heroes. His ego has often led to him making some questionable decisions, but he has been instrumental in saving Earth from several threats, including Galactus and the Skrull. Despite his heroics, we did witness a spectacular fall from grace for Reed in the Ultimate Comics universe, otherwise known as Earth 1610. The combined stress of the Fantastic Four breaking up and Sue Storm rejecting his marriage proposal caused Reed to snap and blow up his childhood home to fake his death, killing his family in the process. He went on to use aliens under his control to attack the heroes. He was eventually defeated and disfigured by the Human Torch and flung into the negative zone. Reed returned to Earth and took on the identity of the Maker and set out on a twisted quest to make the world perfect. He killed all the Asgardians in an attempt to understand Thor's power and used an antimatter attack to attack Washington, D.C., killing POTUS, his cabinet, and all of Congress. The Maker went on to do a lot of twisted stuff, fighting the heroes of his own Earth as well as the heroes of Earth 616, showing just how dangerous Reed Richards can be when his massive brain is turned against the heroes of the Marvel Universe. Any other super smart Marvel villains we didn't have time to talk about? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe for more Top 10 Nerd.